Welcome to the Open House Podcast where women talk real estate. I'm Steph Douglas.
And I'm Kristina Steph. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You just told me you went on a nice walk around your neighborhood, and I did too. We have a little farm. I think it's Boggy Creek Farm, right by our house. And we stopped by, like, there's a way where you can kind of walk through where the rabbit cages are, and they're all the little baby bunnies.
Oh
so
my God.
Cute.
Oh my
I just want to hold one so bad. The babies are in cages, and then I think the like males are like out around and running around. But it was so cute. Lovey kissed one of them. She gave them a little lick. It was they were like sniffing each other. It was very cute.
That's so cute. Charlie, we're really working on her reactivity. Obviously, if Charlie got that close to a bunny, she would probably try to eat it. But we did get really close to a couple chickens today. They were just like kind of wandering the street as well. It sounds like we live in like Snow White's world. But she did so well. She just like kind of looked at him, and I was like, "It's okay," and she walked right by. So
that's
progress.
Great. Yeah, the east side is a wilderness. It's cute. It's like a different world. It's like city, but also there's chickens and
and y'all, I mean, we've been in our houses for I guess about a year, almost a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's just so much to discover.
Mm-hmm.
We walked to the IMAX theater, which is like right across the highway from our house. I mean, it's I say that, it's like a 30-minute walk. It's at the Bob Bullock Theater, which is, on MLK. And we walked through it's a new park that's like right in the middle of downtown. And I was like, oh my God, I've lived here for a whole year. It's so beautiful. Have you been?
No.
I was like, I need to take a child here. Like, it's so magical. There's like little parks and like pocket things. Anyway, we should take Nat and Cosette and their babies there.
Oh, that sounds. I also stumbled upon a area so I had never been to Peace Park. Isn't that wild? That's where they do God. Eeyore's birthday. I think I had been on the other side of it, but I don't know if you've been recently, but they did like a whole overhaul of it. It's beautiful. It's so picturesque. There's like, people of all ages, of like little kids are out right now because there's summer. It's like camps and stuff, and it's just so sweet. And there's so many dogs and people, and so me and my friend Lena have been going there on Wednesday mornings and just walking. And yesterday we decided to go to, have you heard of Littlefield?
Yes, a little place to eat, right?
Yeah, it was so cute. And I was like, how did I not know this existed? Because they were businesses that started on the east side. So they had Veracruz tacos and Fleet coffee over there, and it was so cute. But it was funny because I was like, this is so different than the east side. It was a little crunchy mom for me, but it was really cute. But it was really sweet. Like, if I had a kid, I would take it over there. But
just take it on over there. Let it run around.
Let it run like a dog park.
Once you have a kid, we'll correct our language around it.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was weird because it was only moms there too, which it was just like a very crunchy mom area, but it was very sweet. It was cute. There were also like businessmen sitting at the tables, like having meetings. That was a little too like weirdly traditional for me, where I was like, I don't like this, but it was very cute, and I would come with friends and like,
I guess this is a sign to just like try to get to know your city a little bit better,
explore.
And yes, there's so much, and the public space really. When I walked by that park, I'm so annoyed that I'm not remembering the name of it, but I was like, I thought of Leslie Knope. And like how she's trying to get just like public spaces and public parks pushed through. And we should be enjoying them.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how did I not go to Peace Park before? Like, I lived over there. And I know
Yeah.
it's
Oh
in a
my God. Yeah.
whole different neighborhood. Like I used to live right over there
Yeah.
when I was renting this little like Shire like esque
Yes.
little basement apartment um in Clarksville. And so yeah, if you haven't been to Peace Park recently, go. It's so cute.
Yes.
They've done a lot over there. It's very sweet and
I
pretty.
I play volleyball at the rec center over there every
Mm,
week, and like right across the street from Peace Park, or a little bit further down. But
mhm,
it takes me like 7 minutes maximum, and so it's so funny when we think about like Austin is just such a manageable city. Like
mhm.
it probably takes like 10 minutes from your house to get there, but we think of it as a totally different part of town. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to push myself to like, okay, I can go south because it takes 12 minutes and like explore down there.
that's so true. Go explore your city, do a staycation.
Yes.
Also, I just saw if you guys don't follow Austin Common, it's such a good I mean, their Instagram's great. They post like
Yes.
really useful, helpful information on local elections that are coming up and changes with the city. And they just posted about a new rail line that they're adding. I think it starts on 38th Street and then goes all the way through um like downtown, goes south. So it's we're expanding. It's really exciting that we're getting
Yay.
more like public transportation, because I know the rail line we have now is like kind of a joke,
Yeah.
but they're
It is
expanding it. So
yes, I'm so happy. I mean, I've been in Austin since 2007, and every single time there's a local election, not every single time, but like there's been expansion of the rail line on the ballot multiple times, and obviously it does come with a tax increase, and so it always gets voted down. And so the fact that we are like pushing things through, we are a real city, and so we need public transportation and we need ways to get around the city without driving.
yeah, it's so true. Also, wait, okay, before we move on to actual real estate stuff, what are your thoughts on this? I Okay, so speaking of driving and public transportation, whatever, I go work out. My workout studio that I go to is downtown. It's like 12 minutes from my house. I was literally 1 minute late today and I got there and they had given my spot away. They were like, oh, this is why you need to be here 5 minutes early for a full class. And I was like, I didn't argue. I was just like, okay. Like,
Oh
wait, so when did you give
no.
my class away? Like 30 seconds ago? Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's wild. 1 minute.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ugh, this is annoying because now I have to drive." Like it was just a waste of a
Uh
morning. I made the best of it because me and Levy went on a beautiful walk, but I was
oh.
just like, is that normal? Like that's
That seems
not.
like but not in there. Like they need to have some sort of policy. The one at Orange Theory is 5 minutes. If you're
Yes.
after 5 minutes into the class, then they'll give your spot away, which seems reasonable. Fine, get it.
Yeah, it's
But one
typically
minute
five
seems
minutes.
aggressive.
One
Yeah.
minute was I was like, did someone mess something up and now you're
I
making an
think
excuse? Because that's weird.
it seems like they probably made a mistake. I just like really thought you weren't coming.
Yeah, I mean, I just it's a weird time. It's at 7:40 too, so I'm like
Oh,
it's just a weird anyway, so I'm like, I guess I'll try to get there 5 minutes early, but
if I was up in the sevens and
I
they wouldn't let me attend, I don't know what I would have done.
yeah, I was a little frustrated because I was like, yeah, I woke up, I got over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's I don't know, it was early, whatever. But
Well,
anyway,
I'm glad the walk, silver lining, but
silver lining walk.
man.
Yes.
One other thing, the
Mhm.
woman who runs the Austin Common Instagram, she's in the open house community.
She is. Yes. And
She's so cool.
actually, we might be partnering with them soon because we just love them so much. We've been following along with them since we opened. And oh, also, it was our 4-year birthday and we didn't even announce it.
We recorded on the day. We didn't even say anything. We were
Wait, we didn't we should talk about this because we definitely recorded a podcast on that day. We had
yes.
that, we had another meeting together. I think we just were so busy with a lot of different things we have going on right now. But y'all, it's our 4-year birthday. Like we just
4
celebrated
years.
4 years. And what did our team
It's
do for us? It was very
oh my
sweet.
god, y'all. So we forgot, and Alan and Eric, our partners, were like separately. They were like, we're gonna go to Lolo for like a happy hour, I was like, oh my god, wow, we're like you're
Same.
taking this is amazing.
Same.
I didn't question it for a second. I was just like, cool, at 5 p.m. we should just get there.
I didn't
And our
question it
team,
either. I was
yeah.
like, oh my God, sure. This is like, look at
That's
us.
who we are now. Yeah. And when we got there, our team was waiting in birthday hats and there was a cake and they had planned a surprise party for us for our 4-year birthday.
I was so confused. I was like, wait, am I late to something? Like, I was like, who are we surprising? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I was like, am I the one who's surprised? What?
Yeah, that was your question. It was so sweet. It was the sweetest, and really
Hmm.
shout out to Gracie. She like put it together. Everyone else, lied to us in honor of surprise.
It
We
was
and neither of
wonderful.
us are really. We haven't been surprised much in our lives because
No,
we.
I don't love like well, I like surprises in that way. Like that was very sweet. But if someone's like, I'm taking you on a date and and I don't know where I'm going, I'm like, what do I wear? What do I do?
Yeah.
Unless I'm
Yes.
prepared. But Eric's just like, let's just go. And I'm like,
I love it.
tell me what we're doing. So I don't love a
I
surprise like that.
I love a surprise and I just am so like in control of our social life that it's really really hard for Alan to surprise me. Not that he tries very hard, but um
The surprise birthday party, but who ruined that?
yeah, Ian ruined it. That was so sweet. Yeah, I but our team it was incredible and 4 years. It's weird 4 years seems like a really long time, but at the same time no time at all.
Yeah. Oh, we should have done a damn it. We should have done like our favorite memories over the 4 years. Okay,
Oh,
I'm like,
we'll do that next time.
yeah, okay, let's do that next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so we had our 1 year, or sorry, our first opening party, June 1, 2019. And we really are bad at celebrating. Like, we've had a lot of success and we've had a lot of good things happen. And then we're just like, okay, what's next? Let's go.
Hmm.
And so we need to be forced to celebrate things.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a perfect little surprise birthday.
Yes.
What I feel like we have one more really exciting thing to chat about.
Our office.
Yeah.
Yay! We're
It's real.
we're moving. It's officially real and it's announced and it's so exciting. We are moving. We've had two offices since we've opened, and really just have moved because we've grown each time. And now we're embarking on a commercial rental and we're going to renovate it starting 4 days ago.
Yeah, we so this house was built in like what was it, 1917? Oh
1917.
my
Yeah.
gosh. So it's it's old, but there's been a lot. It doesn't look like super old inside, like charming or like that inside. I think the last who leased it last? It was like a salon.
Yeah, it was a weird, like, yeah, salon beauty bar
Yeah.
situation.
And we're actually posting every single detail for what we're doing on TikTok. So if you want, we have like an office series on there if you want to like go back and see everything we've done so far. Also, we are working with Danny Cleric, who if you don't know who she is, I'm surprised like a lot of people do. Like I so
Yeah.
she's an awesome designer. She's super young and like really fun. I posted it on Instagram and my friend Alex was like, I need to meet her. Please let me meet her. And I was like, I mean, you can come by when we're all working if you want. I was like, should we ask her if she wants to do a meet and greet? Because I feel like a lot of
I
people
know.
are gonna like creep on our just drive on by our project just hoping they would meet her, but she's so talented. She's doing so many things right now and she's working a lot with like commercial spaces. So she sent us a lookbook and I'm so it looks so cute. No
It's
changes.
no notes. It's so good. 10 out of 10. I'm so excited. And I mean, I have friends who are also really big fans, which is so wild to say because she literally started on TikTok. And I
Hmm.
remember seeing one of her first early videos of like, watch me decorate my friend's apartment.
Hmm.
And I think like she literally got started just helping her friends decorate and being scrappy like us. And we feel really akin to her because she's a young woman in business and she's just
Yeah,
killing it.
she really is. And yeah, that's why we decided to work with her. And we didn't even it was more of like, let's just reach out to see if she has availability. And I think we were just really lucky to catch her at a time that she had
Yeah.
some extra time to, yeah, because she's been like in Australia, in Atlanta, in Italy, like, so I'm just very
I
excited
love it.
to get to work with like a very talented young person. So
Yes,
yeah.
and the space itself, like we are investing in it. It is a rental.
Hmm.
However, like we think that it will be fully worth it because we'll have a beautiful space. Our community events will be like in this incredible house, old house, which is like very aligned with our values. Like it's not a business park. It's not, it's very much us. And
Hmm.
then we're also in it's like a little courtyard with three buildings, and every single building is rented by a woman-owned business.
Yeah, it's so exciting. It's so LT Gray Coffee Shop, and then what was the bathing suit company?
Kitty and Vibes.
Yeah. Oh, so
Yeah.
excited.
And then there's a salon up top. I think there's four women-owned businesses in this. It's amazing. So I cannot wait. I went there this morning to get coffee, and there was another woman that I knew from like just being in Austin, and she was like, "I heard that there's stuff happening," and I was like, "Oh my god, this is it. This is community. This is such
Hmm.
an embodiment of our values."
Yeah, it's perfect. And they host a lot of events just like us. They do why did I just forget the word?
Markets.
Markets.
Is that the word?
Yes, they do markets on the weekend, which we have been getting into a lot. We'll probably just have our space open on the weekends for people to come by and chat and, talk to us about real estate. So I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Also, I know we've talked about how we were like working with production companies, and we talked to someone else yesterday. So I feel like there's just so many things that are happening, and like it all happens at once. I feel like there was like a lull for us just like a
Yeah.
few months ago where it was like, okay, we've settled, I guess, like, and then it was just like bam, 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 like we got a new office, we're onboarding a new agent right now. We're talking like we're working with this amazing designer. We're talking with another production company. Hopefully that will work out. So it's just, yeah, life
Yeah.
is ups and downs,
When it
and it's
rains, it
crazy.
pours in a good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that is like something that we try to talk through at our meetings and stuff because there's, people are like, well, it's so busy. Like, and then it's like, oh, like it's like a lull. It's like, just remember that this is how it is
This
in
is
this
life.
business and in general. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
so every month, me and Erica have been trying to do like a challenge together. This month we're trying to meditate every day. When I say trying, I'm already skipped a day. It's June 8th. It's hard. I don't know what I just need to do it in the morning. But the meditation I've been listening to, it's like life, it says life is what is it? Life is wonderful. And then it's hold on, sorry. Oh, it's like life is beautiful, then it's horrible. And then there's the mundane. So it's like enjoy, and it's like breathe it in. Not horrible. It was like fuck. Never mind. You should probably just take this out but it's so good. It was like, why don't I just remember this?
I mean, the message is there though. Like, yes, exactly.
It's something like that. Life is
Yeah.
beautiful, and then it's horrible. It's not horrible. Anyway, life is good, then it's hard, and then there's like the mundane in the middle, and you have to like ride the hard, enjoy the wonderful, and then just like ride the wave when it's with the mundane. Mundane
Oh my
is part
God.
of life, and like
Yes.
I think sometimes I struggle in the mundane because I'm like, I don't want to live this normal life, and I'm like,
Yes.
it's
Oh my
fine.
God. Yes. I'm so guilty of that. But yeah, that's a really good thing to remember. And like the walks and the dinners with friends. It's like that, you can feel like I need to go travel and I need to do all this stuff, but really
Mm-hmm.
there is such beauty in that. And I think that in the mundane is where community is built. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
consistency and so
That's so
I love
true.
it.
That's where your habits are built. That's where
Yeah.
you're building up like a sustainable life so you can enjoy those like miraculous like beautiful times when you're
Oh
just
my
like, oh my god,
God.
this is all so aligned. But you have to kind of just like ride out that mundane, put in the work during the mundane.
Yeah.
Yeah, So
We're
anyway,
we're transitioning this podcast to a philosophy podcast
I am
away
now
from
a
real
life
estate.
coach. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm not.
Um, okay, so we get into real estate.
Yes. Yeah, we should. Um oh, okay. So this episode comes out at like the perfect time because tomorrow we're actually hosting a woman investor meetup at my house. And we're doing a tour of my Sneaky Duplex. So if you're listening to this and you're like, no, I missed it, just we'll add the link to our woman investor meetup. Just join, and then we are going to post the presentation that I'm doing in our Facebook group. So you'll definitely get it. And if you're like, oh, I joined too late, like you can go into the Facebook group and search. You can do the little search and find it. So it's not,
Yeah.
you'll be able to find it. So
Yeah.
but you should definitely come tomorrow. Last month we did it at Steph's house. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. It was it was better than I thought it was going to be. We're kind of, we're transitioning between offices like we said. And so we were like, oh, maybe we should do like somewhat of a field trip at one of our properties. And so the one we did it at was a tiny home on wheels, which has gotten a lot of attention on TikTok, and just like in general, people are interested, for a good reason. It's just like a very like already done thing that you roll onto your property. And we had huge attendance. We talked through like the logistics of it, what it brings in every month, stuff like that. And it was really well received. It was also really fun for me.
It was such a good time. People like weren't leaving.
Yeah.
Like the event at the end, we were like, I was like, Gracie, you can go home because
Yeah.
she works all our events. And but yeah, it was such a good time. We had such good
Yeah.
conversations. There were people who had been following us for a while who, this was their first event. And like one lady, she was like, I've been following you for like since you started your company, and this is the first event
Yeah.
I've come through, and like I loved it. It was so much fun. So I just love our women investor meetups, and
Yes.
we just want to talk today about sneaky duplexes because I think no, I mean we coined that term, right?
Mm-hmm. We need to
And
get
where
it
did that
copyrighted.
we do? I know we I mean I need to think like abundance mindset when I think of like for example, we saw some other real estate company was like, we host first time homebuyer classes, and I was like, oh, no, they're trying to take over
Yeah.
what we do. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, 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 that's good. We want
Yeah.
that. We want more
Yes.
people to
Yes.
learn
Yes.
about this. It's okay. Like what you do is very unique, whatever. So
Yes.
anyway, but yes, sneaky duplex is an open house term.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
and you kind of kicked us off with that, right? Like you started at your
Yeah.
house.
I mean, I think the concept of house hacking is not ours, but I do think that I got it, and kind of came upon that kind of organically, just being scrappy and like wanting to earn money, and like house hacking. I learned that term after I actually did it. But then I was like, okay, I'm kind of in this phase where I don't want to have a roommate. I didn't want to share space. I didn't want to share my kitchen. I just wanted to have income, but I didn't want to share any space. And so I bought a house that already had sort of like a side unit that someone had already added on, and there was an exterior door. And I was like, hey, this could be, a private space for someone that they don't have to come into my house. And it was wildly successful. And so we kind of started to teach it, and we call it Sneaky Duplex because it's sneaky because it's not a real duplex. It's not like we have two units with a kitchen with two big kitchens and all of that. It's a section of your house that is kind of like a hotel room, right? Yours is especially like a hotel room.
Yeah, it is. And I think also when people come to us, or when they were coming to us, they were like, I want a duplex. And I think it's because when you Google like what's a good investment, duplex, triplex, quad, like all those come up. And in it's kind of hard to find, like, or it's going to be in an area you might not want to like have your first
Yes.
home in. So for
Yeah.
example, like I was looking for a duplex for my first home, and I remember finding one actually on an auction in Austin, and I drove to it, and there were people fighting. There was like people screaming in the yard, and I was like 24. I was going to live there, like I was going to do this whole project by myself essentially. And I was like, it was just like not in a neighborhood I wanted to live in for my first house and live
Yeah.
there. So and then I tried to find another duplex. It was just like hard to find a duplex. So
Yes.
we this is a way that you can have a duplex
Yeah.
and you get to decide where.
Right. And because there's the zoning, there's so many zoning laws in almost every city. So when you think about like, oh, I have a duplex and it just be in a normal like single family neighborhood, usually there's zoned for specifically duplexes. So it's just like you probably recognize like a duplex street where every single thing is a duplex. They're also in potentially a worse shape because they're usually bought and rented out. And so the pride of ownership isn't there. So it usually takes a lot more money to renovate them than it would a single family house. So there are just like a lot of reasons. It's also, there's a price increase just for the fact that it's a duplex because the value is so obvious. And so what we tried to do is add value in like a less obvious or sneaky way and still have two separate units.
Yeah. I think one convenience of trying to buy a duplex is the way the lending process can go. So if you do buy a duplex, they can count the income. So if you plan to live on one side, they can count the income that you would earn from the other side towards your debt to income. So it would help you be able to buy it essentially. But
Yeah.
if you don't necessarily need that assistance, then it's whatever. But
Yeah.
so it's there's pros and cons. I will so before I guess we move on to I guess specific examples of sneaky duplexes, I want to talk about what house hacking is because I think a lot of people don't know exactly what that means. House hacking is when you buy a house to live in and you're trying to supplement your income through renting out parts of your house. So you can do that through renting out rooms, which is how me and Steph both started. You can do that by a sneaky duplex or having a tiny house. So it's whatever, even renting out the land. Like a lot of, a couple of our clients have done that where they have a big yard and they've rented out part of their yard to someone who has like an airstream. So there's different ways of doing it, but it's when you live in the house and you are trying to eliminate or lower your monthly mortgage payment.
Yeah. And it really appeals to people because to me, as someone who didn't grow up with wealth, who I'm not going to get an inheritance, it's really attractive. And this is true for a lot of people that you can put a really low amount down if you're buying a house to live in. And so you're putting that amount down and then you can essentially eliminate your payment, which means you have that money that you would have spent on rent or mortgage and you're able to invest that. You're able to save that. And like that really is a quick way to build wealth when you didn't have very much wealth to begin with.
That's a great point. And you can use these strategies at every single like part of your real estate journey. Like for example, when I bought my first house, I it was a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. Well, this is the first house I bought to live in, 3 bed, 1 bath house. And it was less than 900 square feet. And I lived in one room. The middle room, I did like a 3 month lease. And then the other room, I did Airbnb because it had its own entrance. So it was like an Airbnb room, which is insane that I did this. Now, because I'm just like, I'm just like a curmudgeon now. I'm like, I don't want people in my house. But at that time, it was like amazing because I was not only eliminating my monthly payment, I was able to like save more money every single month to then buy my next investment. I also gained a lot of equity in that house, was able to pull out money a few years later and like buy property with my sister in Florida that we love. And like, so it was one strategy that I used to like do other strategies, real estate strategies in
Yes.
my life.
Yes. It can snowball into an investment portfolio, which it literally did
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Yes, exactly. And then the way I'm house hacking now is very different than how I originally house hacked, where now I wanted so after living in that house for multiple years, I was like, I need something that's like works, new. I want 2 bathrooms. So we bought a new build and it was significantly more, which I'm gonna go over in the presentation tomorrow. Um, it was significantly more, and I was like, I still want to pay, like I want my monthly payment to be what my mortgage was at my other house. And granted, I live with Eric, my boyfriend. So I was like, if I can pay 2,000 a month and he can pay 2,000 a month, that makes sense to me. Because
Yeah.
like where else are we going to be able to live in this over 2,000 square foot new build house um with 3 bathrooms for us? So it yeah, anyway, I'm going to show y'all how with doing a sneaky duplex in our house, it's not going to get rid of my mortgage payment, but it will lower it enough where it makes sense for us. And also, this will not eliminate my monthly payment, but it will lower it enough where I get to live this like beautiful in this beautiful house. It's like very luxurious to me. I've never lived in a new build, never had like my own bathroom that I can just it's a huge bathroom, huge closet, whatever. And then also I'm going to show y'all that the rent that I would have to pay if I lived in a house like this. So, yeah,
Yes.
the
Yes.
difference of how you
And
can
if you're
house hack.
renting, yeah, you're not building equity. And so you bought this house. The one thing that people will bring up is that you're able to qualify for that, but there's a
Mhm.
lot of people who are able to qualify for a lot more than what they actually want to pay. And so in this case, we both bought houses because I did something similar. We both bought houses that we would never have bought without the ability to supplement. We wouldn't have stretched our budget this much, but the fact that we're able to cut 2,000 to 3,000, even up to 4,000 in my case, in some months, it made sense for us to stretch our budget to this point.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
a
that's
good
when it's
point.
like, right?
They're going to make yeah, that will be the like what people were going to bring up. And we both did this. We both stretched our budgets to the very end. Like this was the very max that I could afford. And
Yes.
so essentially kind of risky if you are risk averse.
Right.
But
I mean,
I was like, there's no way. Like I know that I can section off this part of this house. I know that I can do this. Like I just was
yeah.
so confident in it because I've done it before.
Yes. Yeah. I think that the risk tolerance piece comes in with like people saying, well, what if the worst happens? What if you can't get someone to rent it? And you could say that about literally anything. And if you continue to say that about things, then you just won't do anything. So
Mhm.
you have to that high risk, high reward. And in our case, like moderate risk, high
Mhm.
reward, because Austin, we were buying in a place where we know we're gonna, if we can't rent it out on Airbnb, then we can rent it for midterm, we can rent it to travel nurses, we can rent it, there's just other, we have plan A, plan B, plan C. So for me, it doesn't feel like such a risk, but we were able to qualify for these high mortgages because we have a business, and we do definitely, like, we've set ourselves up for this.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
for
we wouldn't
sure.
have been able to qualify for these loans like 5 years ago before we started our business.
No, that's a good point. What was your first sneaky duplex? I know you kind of brought it up in the beginning, but
Yes. So my portfolio has been really built from me buying a house, living in it for 2 years, and then buying another primary residence, moving away from the house prior, transitioning that into a rental, and then moving into the house again. Like we've said, if you do that, you can put little, or very little down, and so you're really building a portfolio with not very much cash up front, because I've never had very much saved, and I haven't had help from anyone. So I bought my first house in 2013, lived in it for 2 years. Bought my second house in 2016, I guess 3 years, 2016. And I was like really, really hustling. Like I rented one room out on Airbnb, rented one room out long term, rented the back house. So I didn't sneaky duplex that one, but I did house hack it heavily. Then 2018, I bought the house that I mentioned. It was an amazing location, really, really rough shape. Kristina had walked it before and been like, nope.
I walked in it with my one of my clients and friends, and we were both like, "Well, this needs to be torn down." Like I know, and I'm always like, "No, we can salvage this," but I was like, "This is."
Yes. It was really rough. And really, anyone with the right mind would have torn it down. I was very optimistic. And like,
It worked
I,
out.
I, it worked out, but I definitely spent 3 times what I thought
Mm.
I was going to spend. I remember thinking like, I have $30,000. That is more money than
Ah,
I can't even believe I just had started real estate and I had $30,000 saved up. And I was like, I remember telling a contractor like, don't worry, don't even worry. I have 30K budgeted. And he was like, I ended up spending 90
oh
somehow.
my God.
This isn't a good example. Don't follow.
Well, I like hearing this because we need to do a story about this because this is crazy. It was shocking, and you were trying to do the plumbing yourself.
Yes.
I
Oh
was in
my God,
awe.
y'all. I went to the plumbing supply store and I was like, listen, I'm going to do it myself. Can you just tell me what I need? And there was a plumber there like shopping and he was like, girl, no,
No,
I will come and I will give you a deal. He really did.
that's so funny.
um, but, but yeah, so scrappy. And that was the one that had the main entrance for the main house. And then there was a door that connected the two units, quote unquote units. But I covered one side with a big, like, beautiful mid-century bookshelf, and then the other side there was like a dresser, and then I bought like a big piece of art. And you really couldn't tell that there's a door between them, but I wanted to leave it there because just in case I ever wanted to rent the whole thing out, or if
Yeah,
I wanted to live there and have the whole house instead of just my portion.
yeah, that's
So
true.
so I really love the art of the Sneaky Duplex
Mm-hmm.
because there's definitely things that you need to think about. Like you want them to have a private entrance where they can have some like place to sit, like a little outdoor space, which you have as well.
Yes,
Um,
which I'm like
so
they
I
don't
built.
really use. We need to build like a fence or something
Oh
around it,
yeah,
but
that's a good idea. Like real people really care about privacy,
mm-hmm.
and fencing. Like it's shocking what fencing can do. Even just like a panel of fence
The
really helps with
barrier,
privacy.
they think they
Yes,
feel that there's a barrier.
yes.
Um,
Um, Yeah,
sorry.
yours is so cute. And yours is in the front of your house. So it's like very obvious you can see it. Mine's kind of on the side. But regardless, there's people want a space, even if they see it on the pictures and don't even use it. It's nice.
Yeah. And so if you guys come to my house tomorrow, it's kind of I'm like, "Oh, they're coming to my house." I'm like, "Don't judge me. I have nothing on my walls yet, even though I've lived here for a year."
No.
uh
It's a piece of art in itself. It's so beautiful.
mm, it's not my typical style. But the relief of just like everything is working is what
Oh
I
my God.
needed after
Yes.
just like 5 years of like buying essential tear down homes and renovating them and this and that. It was just like I was like, I need to come home and not have
Yes.
that. I was just like renovating properties, like we had renovated the retreat house, our beach house, like these how and I was like, I just need a space. And then our old house was like one bathroom, always a project. So I was just like, this is what we need. We need this. So I feel very lucky to live in this house. It's
Yes.
not my ideal style, but you can't have everything. You just can't.
No. Yeah.
Um, and my quality of life, my relationship, everything has just been so much better. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But so how we did our Stinky Duplex is we bought a bookshelf door kit, and so we're gonna kind of talk you through how that went, how we tried to soundproof things. We'll show you guys like materials that we used. When I say we, Eric built this. I did not build it.
Yeah.
I had just torn my ACL and was useless.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's right.
When we
Yeah.
moved in, I couldn't walk up like like when we moved into our house, I had like was like hobbling. So it was
Yeah, he did so much. He's very
yeah.
capable though.
Yeah, he is. So he'll be there too to kind of talk through that kind of stuff that I wasn't really a part of because I was medicated. So so he'll be there too. And we'll go over like all the costs and everything. So I'm excited to show y'all.
That's so exciting. I mean, it really
Hmm.
the fact that it's such a beautiful house and like it's just a piece of that, it's gonna open people's minds, I think. Because I think when people think like scrappy or like, sneaky duplex, they're thinking it has to be, in a super like cheap house that they I don't know. It just
Yeah, they
feels like
take
a different
themselves.
side of it.
They probably take themselves out of the equation. They're like, these
Yeah.
girls can do it, but I can't because I have this, this, and this, or I do this and this.
Yes.
But like, there's so many different ways to do it. You do not have to do your own plumbing. Like you can start at
Yes.
every level. That's just, you know, we have just different risk tolerances. But
Yes.
you can start at any age at any time of your life. Um, yeah, we're going to have a sneaky duplex for as long as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that is something. Like, how do you say no to like $2,000 to $3,000 a month? That's $24,000 to $36,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and when it's not affecting your quality of life, when
It's
you're not
not.
having to share space, it really is an amazing way to supplement anything, even if you don't need it. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And even doing it for like a couple of years to obtain a goal quicker. If you're like, I'm trying to save
Yes.
50K, like, how do I do it? We were thinking, like, I was like, Eric, one of our challenges, I wonder if we should try to like see who can make 5K in a month. Uh, and then, at first I said 10K, and then I was like, no, 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 5K.
Yeah.
And he was like, how would you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I feel like as a
Figure it out.
marketer, like I should definitely be able to like know how to make 5K if I needed to. Um but yeah, we did not do that because I was like, I don't want to add that stress right now, but it could be fun, like a fun, like who can
Yes.
make 5K first.
I love that you all are doing these challenges. It seems like so productive and exciting, and like it's time bound and it's cool.
It was fun. Last month we did no TV, and honestly, I feel like it was not that bad. I TV is such a distraction to me. Like I like it, but I will watch it. I will watch it every
Yeah.
day, and I can't. It's like I have to do it. It's all or nothing. So
Yes.
I think we could do another month without it, but like I like the increments of like no nothing for a month.
Yeah,
So it
and it
was
probably
nice.
builds that muscle where like you probably are just gonna watch less TV in general now.
No.
No, yeah,
I
you got to
watched
catch
I
up on
watched
what
it
you didn't watch.
June 1st happened, and I was like, there's this
Yeah,
show I have to watch, and yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's all or nothing for me.
All or nothing. Um, okay, so Sneaky Duplex. So I did that first Sneaky Duplex that I talked about, and then I bought a second, or no, sorry, not even second. This is I think probably number three in my nope number four in my primary residences on Ninth Street, and lived in that for a while. And then as I moved out, I really like the idea of like having a long-term rental everywhere in every property, because just like you're adding somewhere for someone to rent in an affordable rate. But I it was such a big house that I cut the back of it off from the front, and that's an Airbnb, and the front is long term. So it is like somewhat of a sneaky duplex, but I don't live there.
How did you do that? Because it sounds like you just like took
I
scissors and you're
just
like, I
chopped
cut
it
it
off.
off. And
Yeah. So the primary suite, it took up like, the back quarter of the house. And so I essentially for that one did not keep the door. So I took the door and the door frame completely off, and I replaced it with drywall just so that it looks like a regular wall. And I put like that double thick or like the extra thick drywall as a replacement, because the sound barrier is like a big deal. Do y'all hear
yeah.
your people?
Um, we it depends. Sometimes yes. And I'm definitely gonna go over the pros and cons of like a
Yeah.
sneaky duplex. Uh, but yeah, sometimes we can. But we do
Yeah.
have like a noise machine in there too.
Right. Like for them to make sure that they're not hearing anything,
Mm-hmm.
because the sound, like making sure that that's as little of a problem as it can be is important, because you also don't want to feel self-conscious about like, you
Yes.
know, watching TV in your own house.
Right.
So that's definitely something. There's also, when you're doing a sneaky duplex, the HVAC, the AC and heat are connected, because it's, you're doing it in one house
Oh
where it's
yes,
usually
yes.
connected. So we have taken to adding a mini split so they can have their own control,
Hmm.
and shutting the vent, even though it still comes through a little bit. What did you all do? Did you just keep it?
We kept it, and in my messaging in like a day or two before, I'm just like, hey, let us know how you like to sleep. And then we'll just, I mean, we typically keep our house in the summer around like 74, 73 downstairs anyway, just to like keep it cool because it's so hot.
Right.
And then at night, we just change it to whatever they want. And we have two, so we sleep upstairs. We have a different thermostat upstairs than
Oh,
downstairs.
nice.
So it's really nice. It's no one, it's been great so far. No one has like said anything, even about the noise. So, and I will say, like, we every Monday we have friends over for coffee, and like, so, or like if we're hosting people, um I will block off, if I know we're going to host and we're going to have a lot of people, I'll block it off. But typically people will
Yeah.
check out on Monday anyway, so when we have people over for coffee, if we know they're still there, I'm like, don't bring your dogs, because your dogs will
Oh,
like
that's smart.
bark and be like
Yeah.
all up, you know.
Yeah.
If you have
Yeah.
barking
Oh, yeah.
dogs, don't bring them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's
that's
definitely,
it.
right. There's definitely considerations. You have to be like a little considerate. And
Hmm.
I remember one time a while ago, like we were smoking marijuana in our house.
Oh.
And the people in the Sneaky Duplex were like, we can smell it. And we were like, oh shit, yeah, because it's all connected, like
Oh,
the
yes.
duct work. So you
Yes.
just have to be think about things like that.
Yep.
The noise especially, but like, yeah, smells and AC. But like when you think about how much money you make every month, it's definitely worth it to be a little bit more considerate and like a little more
Mhm.
thoughtful, um, because you're earning so much. So
Right. And for like, it's also nice because you can block it off and then have people over.
yes,
So like for
right,
this month, Eric, like, oh, Saturday, his friends are coming. So we have two rooms that they can stay in. And we typically don't need three bedrooms for ourselves. And this like office that we have, I have my own office, Eric has his own office, and we have a garage. Like, we don't need that much square
yes,
footage for us. And so it makes sense. So now when we have guests over, we can block that space off, and then there's two extra guest rooms. And honestly, the couch behind me pulls out too, so we could have like three different spaces to host people. Um
so
and
good.
also I'm going to have like um a favorite things party coming up, and like I just
Yes,
blocked it off. So I just block it off whenever I'm like, I for sure want to be as loud as I want and like not think
yeah.
about it. So,
And like a huge part of this whole thing is people love to have space for guests, for their family to come, for their friends to come. And having a guest space dedicated that you don't rent out, it's like that's being used like 3% of the time, you know? And so like having this space that you can block whenever you need it and use it, but then also make money when you don't have guests, it just makes sense.
true. And like, so I know, and some people might be okay with this depending on the time, you know, of your life. When I used to rent out, when I just lived alone, just a room in my house, and I didn't care. I was like, I met so many cool people through Airbnb. Like, I met this, me and my friend Lena were talking about this guy that we met through when we used to Airbnb a room in our house when we lived together. And he's so nice. He's from Mexico City. And every time, like, I remember once we had a layover there, and he just like picked us up, took us around, like, so kind, like told us like tips of
Oh,
Mexico City. And I just chatted with him the other day, and I was like, yeah, me and Eric want to come. And he's like, oh, yes. Like, whenever you come, like, we need to show you around, like, let's hang out. So it's you can meet really cool people. I it just
yes.
it's I know, as a single woman, like, you can't be it's you can be hesitant
Yeah.
about that. I get it. I've been listening to a lot of crime podcasts lately. That's how I got around not watching TV. I was like, what trash can I do? Like, what trash
Yes.
can I listen to or consume? And it was like crime podcasts. So I get it. It's like, it can be scary, but
Yes.
I never had a scary, knock on wood, that no one else does,
Right.
but
There's definitely a way for you to be a little bit more discerning on Airbnb. Like you can make them send a picture of their ID. Like there's ways that you can do this without taking risks. um, and that, I mean, it's a similar thing as like the risk versus reward. You know, we're not definitely not wanting to risk our lives, but there's definitely things that you can do to mitigate the risk, especially if you're a single woman. But yeah, I just feel like the people are in general pretty good.
yeah. And you can have a camera in your house, like, that can be totally not in the bathroom or whatever, but like in a common space, and just let them know.
Yeah.
You can have a lock on your door. I mean, I didn't do any of these. I locked my door, but not I didn't do the camera. But you can,
Yeah.
if you want to try it out, do like travel nurses. That's definitely, I feel like now it might be overused, but there's lots of websites like that where people have traveling jobs, um and they're barely in the house. So
Yeah.
it's like a 2-month
Yeah.
contract or something.
Right. A midterm.
Mm-hmm.
And that is usually legal. But the good thing about a Sneaky Duplex, if you live there, you don't need, I mean, you don't need, you can get a permit in Austin really easily because you live there. So all in all, like a very smart thing. And I think at Kristina's house tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Tuesday or even Wednesday, tonight, we will see it done in a really like luxurious way, and it doesn't have to be as scrappy as everyone's thinking. Um, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to give y'all a tour. And yeah, if you have a guest room, just think about it differently. It's just sitting
Yeah,
there.
it's
What
just
could
sitting
you do
there.
with
But
it?
yeah, exactly.
How can you make $5,000 in
Yeah,
2 to 3 months
2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 months,
and then be
and
done?
really adding an exterior entrance. First of all, it doesn't like alter it to the point where you can't use it
Yeah.
yourself. You know,
Hmm.
it's also, people think that is like a really really hard thing to do. A contractor can do that in 1 to 2 days
Yeah.
and without very much money. So
Yeah. And I'm going to
so
go
yeah,
over how much it costs for us, how long it
yes,
took, everything. So hopefully we'll see
love it.
you tomorrow or today, whatever day you
Yay.
were listening to this.
Yeah.
Wait,
Or yesterday.
what day, let me say, what day is the day that we are doing? Okay. So it would be, okay, June 28th. If you're listening the day before
Yes.
on, hopefully we'll see you June 28th,
June 28th.
2023.
Yes, in the evening. And
Yes.
yeah, Kristina's welcoming us into her home.
Yeah. See you soon. Don't judge me.
Yeah. We'll end on that. Okay. Bye.